Hey, this is Dr. Barry. In this video, let's discuss the ketogenic diet. Now, you may have heard about this diet. Chances are you have. Word about the ketogenic way of eating is spreading like wildfire, and for good reason. Actually, for multiple good reasons. And I wanted to make a video to talk to just the very basic beginner, somebody who's just heard about the ketogenic diet. You may have heard some good things about it, you may have heard some great things about it, or you may have even heard some bad or dangerous or scary things about it. And I wanted to make a video just for you, so that I could talk about the basic concepts behind this diet and help you understand this better because it's so important. So let's talk about the ketogenic diet. Now, if you know someone who's just thinking about starting keto or who has just started keto, or you're thinking about it, please share this on your Facebook page. If you know that you have beginners in your ketogenic or low carb, high fat group, please share this video to help them learn what this is because they need to know. So let's get into it. The ketogenic way of eating. What is it? What's it about? What's it do? Why is everyone so on fire for this way of eating? So first and foremost, the ketogenic way of eating is low carb. That's very important for the ketogenic diet to work. There are essential fatty acids that you have to have. If you don't get them for a long enough period of time, you will get sick, you will suffer, and you will die. There are essential amino acids found in proteins that if you don't get them for a long enough period of time, you will get sick, you will suffer, and you'll die eventually because you have to have certain fats. You have to have certain proteins for your human body to function properly. Now, what you may not know is that there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. There are no such thing as essential sugars, no such thing as essential starches. They don't exist. There is no such thing. You could take a human being and lock them up and feed them only fat and protein for the rest of their life, and they would do great. They would thrive. They would be vibrant and vigorous and happy because there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. So the ketogenic way of eating takes advantage of this because we know that carbohydrates can have negative effects in your body if you eat too many of them. And so the ketogenic diet is a very low carbohydrate diet. So it's also a very high healthy fat diet. And so in the ketogenic way of eating, you'll get to enjoy lots of healthy high fat foods. And that's because the fat does multiple things for you, okay? Now, there are bad fats that you should avoid at all costs. Fats such as canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil, those are bad, okay? Safflower oil, any hydrogenated oil you need to avoid because they're very bad for you. You need to avoid margarine. I can't believe it's not butter, country crock, any fake oil substitute, Crisco or any of the hydrogenated shortenings, they're not good for you. They're bad for you. You need to stop eating them immediately. And you're going to replace them with good, healthy fats like butter, like avocado oil, like lard, like olive oil. All of these fats are actually good for you, and you can enjoy them as much as you want on a ketogenic way of eating. These fats do multiple good things in your body. The next thing that you need to know about the ketogenic diet is that it's about whole, real foods. The ketogenic diet is not about pre-packaged Weight Watcher or lean cuisine frozen dinners that you might call them pseudo dinners because there's really no actual nutrition in them. The ketogenic way of eating is not about any product. There's no product for you to buy that you need to do keto right. You don't have to buy keto shakes or powders or bars. You don't have to buy Atkins anything. You don't have to buy low carb, high fat anything. There are no products that someone who's truly teaching you about the real ketogenic way of eating is ever going to recommend to you, okay? So if anybody's trying to sell you exogenous ketones, that's not real keto. If they're trying to sell you bars, shakes, pills, powders, that's not real keto. The ketogenic way of eating is about eating real whole foods. If you can afford organic and grass-fed, that's great, buy those. If you can't afford those yet, that's okay. You can still keto, okay? You can still do keto on a budget. There are many videos on my YouTube channel here and on other people's YouTube channels that explain to you how to do keto on a budget. You can do keto for cheap if you need to right now. We always want you to buy the best quality whole foods, organic foods that you can afford, but if you can't afford those yet, you can still keto. The ketogenic diet is also the most ancestrally appropriate, DNA appropriate diet that a human being can eat. And I tell people this example: if you could time travel back in time 50,000 years, okay, and you're in the northern US, you're in Canada, you're in northern Europe, you're in anywhere in the northern or very southern latitudes, what do you think that you and your ancestors would eat every day? You would eat meat and veg. You would eat mostly meat in many months out of the year. You would eat meat and veg some other months of the year, and maybe for 1 or 2 months out of the year, you'd have some fruit or some berries to eat. But on the whole, the human DNA and the human ancestry just knows what to do with a ketogenic diet because it's very ancestrally appropriate. Human beings have been eating a ketogenic diet for millions of years. This is not a fad diet. This is not some new, weird, unheard of thing. Humans have been eating this way since the beginning of time and even before. So in that respect, a lot of people like to call keto the latest fad diet, and that's kind of silly and short-sighted, sophomoric even. The ketogenic diet has been around forever and will be around forever. What's actually the fad diet is the diet that we've been told to eat for the last 50 years, which is lots of whole grains, lots of carbs, eat low saturated fat, and eat lots of pre-processed products. That's the fad diet, not keto. The ketogenic diet is also very metabolically powerful. Now, what do I mean by that? The reason that we eat the low carb of keto is so that we can control our blood sugar and our insulin. It looks like the more research is done that high insulin levels, pathologically, chronically high insulin levels, lead to almost all the chronic diseases that modern man suffers from. It's from high blood sugar, it's from high insulin. That's what causes so many of these chronic diseases that you and your friends suffer from today. So that's part of what keto does, is it hacks your blood sugar and it hacks your insulin level and puts them back where they need to be. And I think that's the reason for that is because it's the diet humans are supposed to eat. The ketogenic way of eating also optimizes your leptin and your ghrelin hormones, and these keep you from being hungry, okay? The other thing the ketogenic diet does that's very therapeutic is that it helps you have ketones to burn. Your brain can burn ketones just as easily as it can burn glucose, but if you're eating a high-carb, low-fat diet, you don't ever give your body the good fats that it needs to be in ketosis. If you're eating lots of vegetable oils, which actually don't have any vegetables in them, then you're building your neurons and your brain and your cell membranes out of faulty fats. And those cells are bound to fail eventually. So the ketogenic diet is very metabolically powerful. The next thing is I want you to know is that the ketogenic diet helps your body remember that it can burn fat as fuel. So all the fat that you may have stored on your belly, on your booty, on your thighs, other places, what is that fat? Why is it there? Your body has stored that fat because you've eaten too many carbs for the last few years. Your body stores that, okay? And that's stored energy. That's all fat is. There's nothing magical about it. But if you're eating carbs continuously, your body doesn't have any reason to burn that fat. Only when you bring the carbs down very low and keep the fat high do you remind your body, oh yeah, I can burn fat for fuel just as easily as I can burn carbs. Your body will kick back into ketosis and it'll start to burn the stored energy that's on your booty and on your belly. Now, the worst and most dangerous fat of all, almost no other diet can get to. You've probably seen people who go on calorie-restricted diets like Weight Watchers, Flexitarian, Ornish, Jenny Craig, and they'll lose weight, but they still have that belly. That's the most dangerous fat of all. And the ketogenic diet is the diet that is the best at getting rid of the fat inside your belly, inside your liver, inside your pancreas. That's why I love the ketogenic diet so much, is because it gets rid of the dangerous fat first, not last. Another thing you need to know about the ketogenic diet is, like I've said before, it's very therapeutic. So many people with chronic inflammation, with chronic immune diseases, notice when they start the ketogenic way of eating, their inflammation gets noticeably better. Their arthritis, their reflux, their GERD, their heartburn, their Crohn's, their irritable bowel, all of these inflammatory conditions just get better and go away. Many people notice that migraines get better and go away. They notice that their ADD, their PTSD, their anxiety, their depression, all of these things it looks like are coming, at least in part, from inflammation. The chemical imbalance theory that you may have been taught by your doctor as a reason that you should take this pill once a day for your anxiety or depression, turns out there's not a shred of research that proves that there's any chemical imbalance at all. More than likely what's going on is that your brain is chronically inflamed from the crap food that you've been eating, and once you start feeding your human body the human diet that it loves the best, which is the keto diet, all that inflammation will go away. Many immune diseases, although there is a genetic component to these, are kicked off and put into high gear because of the inflammatory nature of our modern Western diet. And once you get that diet out of your mouth and replace it with an ancestrally appropriate diet like the ketogenic diet, those immune systems or those immune diseases that you thought you were stuck with for life, your Crohn's, your MS, your all of these others, they just calm down and they quiet down. And all of a sudden, you're not having flares anymore. All of a sudden, when you do have a flare, it's a very minor flare of psoriasis or gout or some of these other conditions that are inflammatory and immune in nature. Another thing that the ketogenic diet that I personally love about it is that it's delicious. You get to eat thousands upon thousands of delicious foods that have grown on the earth or that have run around on the earth. It's a completely natural diet. Now, if you enjoyed this video and it helped you understand more about the ketogenic way of eating, and if you'd like to watch my other videos and like to see new videos in the future, consider subscribing to my channel and click the little bell that's right beside the subscribe button. That way, every time I get a bright idea, you'll be one of the very first to know. Also, I've got an Alexa brief now. So if you have an Alexa or the Alexa app, you can enable my brief and you'll get to hear me run my mouth even more every day about a particular keto, low carb, fasting topic. And so just enable the app. Now, if you'd like to join Nisha and I in this fight, our fight against type 2 diabetes and our fight against uncontrolled type 1 diabetes and all of the complications and suffering that they cause to millions of people every day, you can join us and you can help us fight. You can click on the Patreon link down below, sign up quickly, and you can throw a buck or two our way. You can join our private Patreon Facebook group and help us fight these chronic diseases that people suffer from every day. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.